Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at another game on May the 6th. It's game 179 on the season. And we are in Kansas City. It is Toronto and Kansas City. Bud Black on the mound for the Royals. Jimmy Key on the mound for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, hello, Ben. Good to see you. Blue Jays enter the game 14-10. And the Royals enter the game with a record of 12-11. Bud Black enters the game with a record of 1-1. Jimmy Key is 5-0 on the replay. Jimmy Key also has a minus. Look at his card. He's got a -6 hold, so that's going to give them a -5. It's the best you can get because De Willis is a -3. That's technically a -9, but -5 is obviously the best you can get. Bud Black's an even 0. Ballpark effects: singles 1-11 for both lefties and righties. Home runs 1-3, both lefties and righties. So two left-handers on the mound, Jimmy Key and Bud Black. And you see the starting lineups there for both teams on the score sheet. Got the game on the Strat computer out as usual. Got our colored dice, but unfortunately both teams are pretty much the same coloring, so it's not going to favor one team on the other with the colored dice. They pretty much have the same thing going. The previous game between these two teams was a very big surprise. Charlie Leibrandt tossed 8 solid innings at the Blue Jays, and the Royals won at 7-3. John Cerruti had to pitch 5 1/3 innings of relief, so he is obviously unavailable for this game. Everyone else, all the other bullpen arms are available, but John Cerruti is not because he went 5 1/3. All right, let's get this game up on the Strat computer so I can get the full stats for you for Bud Black. He is 1-1 with a save, a 1.26 earned run average, 14 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 walks, and 8 strikeouts. This might be his first start of the season because he's been mainly going out of the bullpen. I think this is his very first start. And Tony Fernandez, the shortstop, will lead off for Toronto. He's hitting .340, no homers, and 4 driven in. So we're about ready to get this game going from Royal Stadium. I don't think it was called Kauffman Stadium yet. I think it's still Royal Stadium. And we are underway. It's a 2-5. Both pitchers are lefty, so we're looking into blue awful lot on the batter cards. 2-5. That's a ground ball to third. And Kevin Seitzer will put it away and flip it over to Balboni for 1 away. And that'll send up Kelly Gruber, third baseman. Gruber on the replay is hitting .324, 3 homers, 8 driven in. 1-7 for Gruber, struck him out. I had a slight snafu when I started this stream. For some reason, when I got everything set up and got ready to go live, it told me I couldn't go live for whatever reason. I don't know what the story was. So I basically just had to close YouTube and start it again. That's why there were 2 thumbnails coming up, because I had to redo the whole thing. And the second one finally let me go through. I don't know what happened the first time. No idea. But I wasn't going to stick around and find out either. All right, here is Lloyd Moseby. He is hitting .302, 5 homers, 22 driven in. That's a 6-11 lefty on lefty. That's ballpark blast, but it's only 1-3. That is a 1, though. The double die comes up as a 1 as usual. Moseby has a normal power. I don't know what the percentages are, but I guarantee it's more than 5% that 1 comes up. Ballpark blast, 1-3. That's a 1. Normal power, it's gone. Lloyd Moseby, home run number 6 for Lloyd Moseby. RBI number 23. And the Blue Jays jump on front 1-0. Lloyd Moseby. And that takes us to George Bell, left fielder. George Taco Bell. On the replay, Bell is hitting .255, 8 homers, 25 driven in. 2-6, and that's going to be a 1-6 triple, but that's a 19, so he'll settle for a single. George Bell, 2-out single. He will not be held, and that'll bring up Jesse Barfield, the right fielder. Barfield on the replay. Checks in 295, 8 homers, 26 driven in. First strategy roll of the game. Or havoc roll, what do you want to call it? I guess it's a havoc roll, not a strategy roll. Strategy roll is inside pitch. 6-5 against the right-hander is a pop-up to second base, and that's going to end the inning. But Toronto gets the early lead on the Mosby home run. Go to the bottom of the first. It is Toronto 1 and Kansas City coming to bat. And the best pitcher in the replay thus far, Jimmy Key, is on the mound for the Blue Jays, carrying a 5-0 record. But the record is not the only thing that's impressive. All the peripherals are just as impressive. He is 5-0 with a 1.58 earned run average, 46 innings pitched, 34 hits, 16 walks, and 35 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Juan Beniquez playing left field in this game. He's hitting 300. He's 10 for 30, 2 homers and 12 driven in. And that's a 5-8. And he struck him out. So Jimmy Key, no surprise there. Hello, Chuck. Tabby is upstairs with me, but she is in her little cubby hole, and she in a little cubby room next to me. It's kind of hard to describe without seeing it, but anyway, she's kind of curled up on a blanket in there and just having herself a good old nap. So I'm not about to bother her. Here is Kevin Seitzer, but you might hear her chime in later. I don't know. Kevin Seitzer hitting 230, 2 homers, 8 driven in. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. So we're looking at Fernandez. He's a 1E17. With a 1, you know he's going to get to it. Just E17. That is a 5, though. So now we're going to have to roll the D20 to find out what the rare play is going to be on. 1 and a 12 is probably still a G1. It is. So it's a G1 rare play. So a G1 rare play is probably where it hits the mound or something. I don't know. If there's a run on first, the ball hits the fielder who no runner on, the batter grounds out. Okay, so obviously it's one of those not so rare plays, and it's going to be 6-3 on the ground out. It would only be rare if somebody had been on base, but not the case. Here's Danny Tartable, right fielder, 282, 8 homers, 17 driven in. 4-6, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Jimmy Key. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. At the end of 1, it is Toronto 1 and Kansas City nothing. Next game after this will be California and Milwaukee. I believe it's Mike Witt against Mike Birkbeck. I believe it's the Battle of the Mikes, if I'm not mistaken. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Bud Black back out. We'll be facing Willie Upshaw, first baseman. Upshaw on the replay. One of the few Blue Jays that are struggling. He's only hitting a $189, no homers, 7 driven in. He hit 244 real world. It's a 2-9, and he's still going to struggle. He lines it right to the shortstop. Oh, wrong side. Good thing I've got my correction tape for when I make errors. Johnny on the spot. Let's take care of that. Just like Serve Pro said, like it never happened. So Willie Upshaw lines out to the shortstop Salazar for 1 away. And that'll bring up big Cecil Fielder. He's hitting 406 in just 32 at bats. 7 home runs, 15 driven in. That's a 2-9, and that's going to be a ballpark blast, but it only goes to 3. This time it's an 18, so just a deep fly to left. And that will be out number 2. Hello, Tim. Good to see you, and Ernest. That'll bring up Mike Sharperson. Hopefully there won't be a 21-0 game like the Rockies had a couple days ago. Here's Sharperson. He's hitting 164, no homers, 5 driven in. That's a 4-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. That's bye-bye Balboni. 4-E18 for Balboni. 4 and a 6. That's trouble. You know, Balboni does not have the best range. 4 and a 6 is going to sneak by him for a single. Checking for the error. He is an E18. That's an 11. And there's 11 right there. So to add the insult to injury, it's going to get past him. And to make it worse, he tries to collect the ball, throw it to the pitcher covering Black, but it got behind him for an error. And that will send Sharperson to second base. So a single plus the E3 puts Sharperson at second base with 2 outs. And Bud Black thought he would get out of the inning unscathed, and he still might, but he's got to work a little harder. And he'll be facing Jeff DeWillis, the catcher. That might help him out. DeWillis, only a 120 hitter in real world, hitting 091 in 11 at bats. In the replay, he had 25 at bats total and hit 120. So strategy roll. See if not strategy roll, havoc roll. I get my games mixed up. It's a 111, and that's going to be a strikeout. That will end the inning. Go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Jays. I rolled a 110. I said 111, didn't I? 110's a ballpark blast. All right, so thank you for catching that, Ben. Ballpark blast actually on the 110. I said 111. It's actually 110 as I see it here. Ballpark blast 1-3, but that's a 4. So he's going to miss. It won't be a strikeout, but it will be a fly to left. Or actually a fly to center because it failed on the home run check. Fly to center. So I need to go ahead and Strat computer and take that strikeout away and make it a fly to center. Thank you for catching that, Ben. Now we're straight. Didn't change anything as far as runs go, but I still like to get the stats accurate. Make sure the players don't strike out any more than they already did or not strike out enough or whatever the case may be. So DeWillis is out of there. So it'll be Hal McRae leading off against Jimmy Key, top in the bottom of the second. Hello, Brian B. These cards I got from one of the YouTube watchers that sent me a. I don't know how he did it on his computer. I couldn't do that on mine, that's for sure. Mine don't look like that. But he was kind enough to send me a not every single extra player, but quite a few of them. Very nice gesture. All right, here is Hal McRae hitting 250 in 20 at bats. No homers and 1 driven in. Key 6-6, and that's a double 1-5, but that's an 8, so it'll be a Hal McRae single to lead things off. He's not going to go anywhere and not going to be held. And that'll bring up Frank White. Frank White. That's a 4-6, and that is a fly to center. One away. One down for Bo Jackson, who is playing center field in this game. Although he's rated for 4, no matter what outfield he plays in, it's the same rating. So not really hurting him at all to play center field. He's hitting 271 in the replay, a homer and 9 driven in. 5-2 for Jimmy Key. It's a fly to right, and that's out number 2. That'll send up Steve Bye-Bye Balboni, first baseman. Balboni on the replay is hitting a $186, 5 homers, 8 driven in. He hit 207 real world. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Jimmy Key, which is an 8. That's a 19. He does not balk, so we go on to Balboni. 1-8, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 3 for Jimmy Key. And it's going to end the inning. We go to the third, still 1-0 Toronto. Oops. 1-0 Toronto. Bud Black back out. He's got a fatigue of 5. So we'll keep an eye on that. Tony Fernandez, the shortstop, grounded out to third his first time up. 1-5, and not this time. 1-10 is a home run. That's an 11. It will be a double. Leadoff double for Tony Fernandez. He will be Well, you'll not be held at second. I take it back. He will not be held at second. Here's Kelly Gruber. Havoc, nothing happening. Black to Gruber. Gruber struck out his first chance. 1-5. He will ground to short with an A, which means the runner's going to have to hold right there at second base. One down, and that takes us to Mosby, who homered his first time up on a ballpark blast. Even though it was only 1-3, he wrote the D20 was a 1. So Black to Mosby. Oh, Suidice. Let's re-roll that whole thing. 110, and that is a fly ball to right field. 2 down. Two down. Now, B question mark. So he does have a chance to get to third base if he chooses to try that. Outfielder arm in right field is Tartable. He's a 0. Fernandez is a 15. Then you add 2 to that, makes it a 17. So 1-17, he makes third base. 18-19, he holds 20. He's out. So he makes it to third base on the fly out to right field. And that'll bring up George Bell. Clutch situation, as they say. Bell singled his first time up. 6-2 is going to ground it right back to Bud Black to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. Score still 1-0. Help if I would fill in the line score as I go. All right. Jimmy Key back out. He'll be facing Salazar, Owen, and Beniquez for the Royals. Salazar checks in hitting .355. He only hit .205 real world, but he's only had 62 at bats. He had 317 real world, so the averages should work out later on. Can't really judge anything by 62 at bats. That's a 2-5, and he will fly to left field. One away. Takes us to Larry Owen, the catcher. Owen on the replay is hitting .167. He hit .189 real world. No homers, 1 driven in. 1-5, and that's a ground ball to third. Easy play for Gruber. 2 down. For Juan Beniquez, he struck out his first chance up. 3-3, and that is a hit by pitch. So Beniquez gets plunked. Jimmy Key. Key usually has good control. Just that one just kind of got away from him. And Beniquez wasn't exactly trying to get out of the way all that fervently. So possibly took one for the team there just to get on base, as he is the tying run. Here's Seitzer. 2-6. It's a walk. That's going to put 2 on out. That's very unusual for Jimmy Key. A hit by pitch and followed by a walk. So he's certainly got to regroup. Now he's got to face Tartable, who he did strike out the first time up, but now there's 2 on. It's actually a clutch situation now for Tartable. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 111 and also on 2-8 and 2-9. So he's definitely anti-clutch. That's a 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Jimmy Key. Strikeout number 4 to end the inning. At the end of 3, it's still 1-0 Toronto. And if you give me a quick second here, Mr. Dan, I will look this up and get the gentleman's name that sent me these cards. So I want to give credit where credit is due. It's been a while, so I forgot his names. But I have his email, obviously. Where did it go? It's down here somewhere. I got a lot of emails I need to get rid of. Need to clean out the old inbox here, I think. Joel Anderson is his name. So if you see him in the chat, he is the person that sent me these things, Joel Anderson. So I don't know if you know him from the Strat community or the YouTube community or whatever, but he was watching the replay and saw what I was getting ready to do with this and thought he would help me out, which was very kind of him, for sure. He also sent me envelopes with all the teams. Like this is the one he sent for Kansas City. I already had envelopes, but he sent envelopes anyway. But again, very, very nice gesture. Very, very nice gesture by Mr. Anderson. All right, so Bud Black will be facing Barfield. Black to Barfield, 5-4. And that's a ground ball third base X. We are looking at the third baseman Seitzer. He's a 4. 4 and 18, he'll get to it. How about that? Here's E26, though, not out of the woods yet. E26 and an 11. E26, and there's an 11 right there. E26 for Seitzer, and the 11 is right there. One base error. One base error, Seitzer, the E26. So we have an E5. Second error on the Royals. Bud Black can't be too happy about that. But it is what it is. And here's Willie Upshaw. Maybe he can get a double play out of it and pick his teammate up. 2, chance for balk or pass ball. Looking at balk rating for Black, he's a 0, so he cannot balk. 5-8. That's a pop up to first. Balboni will secure it. 1 away. Cecil Fielder, the batter. Two 6, and that's a 1-2 home run, but that's a 3, so he will hit a deep fly to left field. Boy, talk about just missing it. That's a 3. It's a 1-2 home run, 3 to left field. Fly ball to left, 2 down. Second time he's hit a deep fly to left field for Fielder. And that'll bring up Sharperson. That's a 2-3, and that is another hit by pitch. So this time, Black plunks Sharperson after Key plunked Beniquez. So not sure if that was retaliation or just got away from him. Umpires are kind of giving him the what for not, but no warning has been issued yet. Here's DeWillis. That's a 3-3, and he struck him out. So DeWillis out on strikes. That is strikeout number 2 for Bud Black. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0. Blue Jays. I wish I had this computer technology for myself. I'd do that for all my Strat computer seasons that I have cards for and print off all the extras, but I don't have that. So I'm not computer savvy like that. But I appreciate the people that are. Here's Jimmy Key. 6-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. He's an E17. He's a 2 E17. 2 and an 11 he'll get to with E17. E17 and a 12. E17 and a 12 for a pitcher. There's a 12 right there. Another error. This one on Jimmy Key. So now each team has made at least 1 error. There's been 3 errors in the game. First one by the Blue Jays, and it's by the man himself, Jimmy Key. He has no one to blame but himself. There's Frank White. 6-8, and that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Jimmy Key. Brings up Bo Nose. He flew to right field his first time up. Did Bo. 4-9, and he's going to pop it up to third. Gruber is there. 2 down. And that'll send it on to Steve Bye-Bye Balboni. For 7, and that's a ground ball shortstop. X. Shortstop is Fernandez. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. It's just a matter of trying to avoid an error. That's a 9. I think he's okay this time. E17 and a 9 hopefully does not show up. It does not. So he's good to go. We're just going to say for simplistic sake, he throws to first to end the inning. We go to the 5th, and this will be the fatigue inning for Bud Black. So have to monitor what he allows and make sure he does not get fatigued. Of course, the Strat computer will tell me, since I'm scoring it as I'm playing it, it'll tell me automatically when he's tired, just in case I miss it. All right, here is Tony Fernandez, 210. And he's going to pop it up to third. Seitzer right there waiting for it. 1 away. Here's Kelly Gruber, 0 for 2. 1-4, and not an 0 for 2 any longer. 1-9 is a triple. 10-20 is a double. So it'll be a double for Kelly Gruber. Double for Gruber. And that'll send Gruber not going to be held on second base. That'll bring up Mosby. (1-7) struck him out. Strikeout number 3 for Mr. Black. And now a clutch situation for George Bell. (5-8), and he got him to pop it up to short. Salazar all over it. And that's going to do it for the Jays. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. The home run from Mosby has held up. And Jimmy Key only has 1 ding against his, Bud Black only has 1 ding against his point of weakness, so he's still good to go. Salazar will be the batter. Flew to left his first chance. 4-6 is going to be a fly to center, so this time he flies out to center. 1 away, and here's Larry Owen. 5-8 struck him out. Jimmy Key, strikeout number 6. And that flips the order back over to Beniquez. Got hit by a pitch his last time up. 3-10, and that's a ballpark single check. 1 to an 11, but that's a 12. So he's going to pop it up to first, and the inning's over. We've completed 5, and the score is still still 1-0. Black will come out and face Barfield, Upshaw, and Fielder. Here in the 6th, both bullpens are empty. No action whatsoever. 2-8 for Barfield is a strikeout, and that is strikeout number 4. That'll send up Willie Upshaw. 5-9, and that's a fly to center. Bo Nose handles that one. 2 down for Cecil Fielder. He's just missed 2 home runs, 2 deep drives to left. 4-10, and he might not miss it this time. 1-17 is a home run. That's a 3. It's gone. So Cecil wasn't going to miss too many of these. He gets another one for Cecil Fielder. That's home run number 8 in just his 35th at bat. He's got 8 home run, almost 1 every 4 at bats. He's hitting a home run. And his RBI is at number 16. 8th home run, 16th RBI. It's now 2-0 Toronto. 2-0 Jays. Sharperson 5-7 is a strikeout. Black's not tired yet, so the strikeout is good. But he's probably tired of giving up home runs, which he's done twice. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 2-0 now, Toronto. And Jimmy Key just working on this league-leading ERA. He's down to 1.42 now with these 5 shutout innings. He's pitched 51 innings, only allowed 35 hits to this point in the season, up to date. 17 walks, 41 strikeouts. He is 5-0, looking to go 6-0. So here's Kevin Seitzer. Third baseman, 5-8, struck him out. Strikeout number 7 for Jimmy Key. Here's Danny Tartable. (1-6) for Tartable, struck him out. Strikeout number 8. And that'll send up McRae. He's singled and reached on the error. 2-9, and this time he's going to walk. That is the second walk issued by Jimmy Key. McRae's not going anywhere. Here's Frank White. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. (3-6), and that's a ground ball, shortstop A. So we're just going to go ahead and say it's 6-3 ground out and be done with it. So that's going to end the inning. We go to the 7th, still 2-0 in favor of Toronto. Now we're in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is now allowed. But since Toronto is ahead, they will keep DeWillis in the game. He's the catcher for Key. You don't want to break up that battery if you can help it. So they're going to leave him in there because they're up 2-0. So they're playing more for their pitching and defense than they are their offense right now. Jimmy Key is twirling a one-hitter, by the way. His only hit is a Hal McRae single. 2-6. Struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Bud Black. And that'll send up Tony Fernandez. He's 1 for 3. 6-9, and that's a single. Bud Black gives up the base hit. And now the Kansas City bullpen starting to stir a bit. So look down the line. They have all their pitchers are ready to go and fresh. So I'm not sure who they would turn to at the moment. Looks like they're actually warming up the quiz, Dan Quisenberry. He is warming up in the bullpen for Kansas City in case Black runs into trouble. 1 out. Fernandez. Let's see if he can get a lead. He needs a 6 or a 7 to get the lead. He does not get the lead. He will hold. Here's Gruber. 5-9, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. Bo Nose hauls that in as well. And that'll take us over to Lloyd Mosby. Lefty on lefty matchup. That's a 3-7 for Mosby, and that's a walk. Now, with George Bell coming up, I think that's going to be it for Bud Black. They're going to make the move to Dan Quisenberry with the righties coming up. They don't want this game getting away from them if they can help it. So the quiz, Dan Quisenberry will be coming on. We look at Bud Black. Black has gone 6 2/3 innings. He has given up 7 hits, 2 runs thus far. They're both earned, both were home runs, but he is responsible for these 2 guys. And as far as walks go, that was his first walk of the game. That one walk right there did hit a batter when he hit Sharperson. He struck out 6. But he is responsible for those 2 guys, as I said. So George Bell is up against Quisenberry in a clutch situation. Get the numbers on Quisenberry. And let's see how he's doing on the replay. Quisenberry checks in 2-1 with 2 saves, a 2.53 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 13 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He and Steve Farr kind of split the closer role, so I could bring in either one. They were both rested. I just decided to bring in Quisenberry. No rhyme or reason, just a gut feeling. 2-9, and that's a line out to third base, and that's going to end the inning. So we can close the book now on Black with the 2 runs, but he is unfortunately set up for a loss unless his team can score 2 runs and tie this game. Jimmy Key, his fatigue is the 7th inning, so he's going to start his fatigue inning now. But like I said, he's only given up 1 hit, so he's definitely doing pretty well for himself. He'll be facing Jackson, Balboni, and Salazar. But then again, like I said, we're in the 7th, so pinch hitting is allowed. So the chances of seeing pinch hitters for Salazar and Owens, particularly Owen would pinch it for. I don't know about Salazar. We'll have to see what they can do there. On the bench for the Royals, in case you're curious, Willie Wilson, Thad Bosley, Jamie Quirk, George Orta, Bill Pacoda, and Buddy Biancalana. Doubt I used Buddy Biancalana as a hitter. He could come in as a defensive replacement, perhaps, although he is a 388 on the rankings. So, but it is the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th, I should say, which means we're at the 7th inning stretch. And by golly, that means it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And I may stretch and see what Tabby's doing while you enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, 7th inning stretch is now in the books. We are ready to continue. Bottom of the 7th, 2-0 ball game. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. No action in the Toronto bullpen, as you might expect. Jimmy Key pitching a 1-hitter at this point. Bo Jackson, Bo Nose, will step to the plate and lead things off, followed by Balboni. 3-8, and that's a strikeout. Oh, he just missed a home run. 3-7 would have been a home run. 3-8 is a strikeout. That is strikeout number 9. Jimmy Key. Jimmy Key is living right. All I can say. He's getting the good rolls for sure. Here's Bye-Bye. He's 0 for 2 with a K. 5-9. Fly ball to right field. Put away by Barfield. 2 down. Now we have to see if there's going to be anything for Salazar. It's 2 out spaces empty, so they may not. Although he is a 205 hitter, so I think they have to do something. I don't think you just stand on your laurels here. You got to do something. Try to be aggressive. So they will go with Bill Pacoda. And actually, Bill Pacoda will stay in the game to play shortstop. He's a 4.819. That's better than Biancalana. So Pacoda will come in and pinch hit here in the bottom of the 7th. and then take over at shortstop in the top of the 8th, Bill Pacoda. Let's get the numbers on Pacoda. Salazar finishes up 0 for 2. Very uneventful. Pacoda on the replay. Not many at bats. He's had just recently joined the team. He has 6 at bats. He is 2 for 6, hitting .333. No homers and a run driven in, but 6 at bats. He had .276 real world. That's a 3-8, and that's a single. So pinch hit single for Bill Pacoda. And of course, we're not going to have Larry Owen hit, though I have a pinch hitter for Owen. So we'll see who they want to bring in for Owen. The only other right-hander they have available is a switch hitter, and that's Willie Wilson. So that's who they're going to go with. Willie Wilson will come in and pinch hit for Owen, and then we'll figure out who's going to catch. Probably Quirk, I imagine. So we're going to have Wilson pinch hit here in the 7th. And then we're going to have Quirk come into the game to catch in the 8th. All right, so Willie Wilson has picked up a bat and is on the on-deck circle, limbering up. Get his numbers. Oh, wait a minute. Strat Computer is telling me Willie Wilson is unavailable. That's not right according to my sources of what do you call it, of transactions. He is available, so I'm not sure why he's showing not available in the Strat Computer unless they know something that nobody else knows. So I am going to allow Willie Wilson to hit because Diamond Mine does not have him missing any games, so I'm going to leave him in there. They had him as an available player, and I'm going to follow that. So I can't tell you what Willie Wilson's hitting right now because he's not on the active roster according to Strat, which is a mistake in my opinion. 1, that's a wild pitch chance on Jimmy Key. He's a 6. No wild pitch. It's blocked by the Willis. Here is Willie Wilson. Key 2-4 to Wilson. Ground ball to short. Going to end the inning. So that'll do it for the Kansas City Royals. Not sure who I want to give. I guess should I give that bat to Larry Owen or should I give it to somebody else? I guess I'm going to have to give it to Larry Owen. Don't want to, but I'm going to have to because they don't have Wilson on the computer for some reason. I got to look into that before the next game because he should be there. So it's ground ball to short to end the inning. All right. Of course, I can go in the Strat Computer and manually give Willie Wilson this at bat and deduct this at bat from Larry Owen, and I may go ahead and do that. But for now, for purposes of this very second, I had to do something to get the game continuing. So now coming into play shortstop is Bill Pacoda after the pinch hitting job. And Jamie Quirk is going to come in and catch for Larry Owen. And of course, Quisenberry will stay in. He only faced 1 batter, so he's obviously not tired. He'll be facing Barfield, Upshaw, and Fielder in the top of the 8th of a 2-0 game. And Jesse Barfield, the batter, he is 0 for 3, did reach on an error. Whoa, look at that. How many times has that happened? Has anybody ever seen that before? That's certainly a wild one. The D20 just landed right on top of the white D6. My rule is they have to be in the tray and flat. So that obviously is a re-roll, but very interesting that this D20 ended up on top of the white D6. So we're going to re-roll that. Try again. 1-8 for Barfield, and that's a single. Center field for Jesse Barfield. I didn't even look what the number was on the first roll to see if it was an out or not. When I see it's not copacetic, I don't allow it. So, all right, here's Willie Upshaw. 0 for 3, 3-7, and he's going to be 0 for 4. That's a ground ball second base A. It's a 4-6-3 double play. 4-6-3 takes care of that. 2 quick outs, and that'll send up Cecil Fielder. Homered his last time up. Came close twice, but he made it last time. But now he's facing the right-hander, not the left-hander. 1-7, and he strikes out. Big difference. That's going to do it for Quisenberry. He's going to go an inning and a third. He's old. You don't want to leave him out there too long. So that'll do it for them. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-0. Jimmy Key has pretty much full endurance. He only gave up the 1 hit. Not sure who's going to come in for Kansas City in the 9th. It might be Farr, particularly if they score a run here. They might very well bring in Farr. Right now, due up is the top of the order: Beniquez, Seitzer, and Tartable. Those are the particulars. Let's see what Toronto may make a defensive switch here, because Sharperson's not very good defensively with that 4E23. Garth Orge is a 4E13. What is Gruber? 423. They're going to bring in Garth Orge to take the place of Sharperson. Garth Orge. Orge will come into play second base here in the 8th inning. And he is going to lead off the next inning as well, the 9th. Garth Orge. He will take the place of Sharperson. You're not going to take out the Willis because, again, you don't want to mess with the battery that's going on there with Jimmy Key. So not going to do anything there. So now we're ready to start the bottom of the 8th. That's a 4-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. That is Bell. He's a 2E13. 2 and a 14, he'll get to it. E13 is the question, and 10 is the answer. 10 should be okay. There aren't many 10s that are errors. E13, there's no 10. Good play. Good play there by George Bell. 1 away. And I'll bring up Kevin Seitzer. 6'10", and that is a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Gruber. He's a 3E24. 3 and a 6 is probably going to get through for a hit, if I had to guess. 3, no, he's not going to get through a hit. It would if he was holding a runner on, but third baseman's not going to be holding a runner on. 3 and a 6 is going to be a G3. E24. E24, he has to avoid 9, 12, 3, 15, and 18. So E24, 3, 15, and 18, 9, and 12. And that's a 7, so it's good all day long. Kelly Gruber makes a nice play. Perhaps playing on the AstroTurf at Royal Stadium makes it a truer bounce and makes those X chances a little bit easier. Still doesn't explain why there's been 3 errors in the game, but anyway. He was out from 5-6 to 5-13. Okay, Chuck, I will make that notation unless I missed it when I was writing down the transactions, which I may have done. So if that's the case, I will make that notation on my rosters and keep that going for future games. Thank you for looking that up for me. All right, here's Tartable. 6-3, and that's ground ball pitcher X. So Key again is an E17, a 2E17 for Jimmy Key. 2 and 15 is fine. E17, he made an error last time on an E17. I believe he rolled an 11 or a 12 last time, so he's got to avoid those. 10. Ooh, talk about barely getting by. He did. But it's a good play for Jimmy Key, and he's going to keep endurance into the 9th and go for the complete game. Looking to go 6-0 as we go to the 9th inning. Top of the 9th. It is Toronto 2 and Kansas City nothing. New pitcher for the Royals. Let's see if it's going to be Gumpert or Farr. It's going to be one of those two, or because Jerry Don Gleaton pitched in the previous game. Farr has pitched 13 innings. Gumpert has pitched only 4, but he only pitched 19 real world. Actually, Gumpert has pitched more of a percentage. So they're going to bring in Steve Farr. Steve Bridge Too Far will come in and pitch the top of the 9th for Kansas City. Finishing up the numbers on Quisenberry. He gave up 1 hit in an inning in the 3rd, nothing else, and it got a strikeout. So Steve Farr comes in with a record of 2-1 and 2 saves, a 6.92 earned run average, 13 innings pitched, 14 hits, 13 walks, and 13 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Garth Orge, who took over for Sharperson. So Orge on the replay is only hitting a $158, no homers, 2 driven in, but they're playing for a better defensive team because you're up 2-0. 2-5, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Farr strikes out Orge, 1 away. You're not going to mess with that pitcher chemistry. So DeWillis is going to hit again. No way you're messing up that chemistry. Not a chance. 5-9, and that is a strikeout, but they don't care. Jimmy Williams wants the defense in pitching. So that'll send up Fernandez. He's 2 for 4. 4-11. Switch hitter batting left. Fly ball left field X. We are looking at Beniquez. He's a 2. 2-12. He'll get to it. He's an E6. E6 and a 9 should be okay, but you never assume anything. E6, nope, no 9. So it's good play. An easy inning for Steve Farr. He goes 1 inning, strikes out 2, gives up nothing else. We go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance saloon for the Kansas City Royals against Jimmy Key. Key keeping all his endurance pretty much. Ward's now taking over at second base defensively. Well, he was already there, but not on the computer. All right, so Jimmy Key has lowered his ERA to 1.34 now after these 8 shutout innings. He has gone up to the second. He has gone 54 innings pitched, 36 hits, 18 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And if he hangs on and wins, he'll be the first 6-game winner in the replay. He'll be 6-0. So we have 3 right-handers against him: McCray, White, and Jackson. Due up for the Royals. Key is limited the Royals to just 2 hits in this game. 1 by the pinch hitter Pacoda and 1 by this guy, Hal McCray. 4-9, and that's a pop out to third. Easy play for Gruber, 1 away. That'll send us over to Frank White, the venerable Frank White. Two 6, and that is a ground ball to third. Gruber once again makes the play. 1 out away from the shutout, and Bo Jackson standing in his way. Bo is 0 for 3. Key has struck out 9. If he strikes out Bo, he gets that 10 strikeouts to go with the shutout, and that would be pretty sweet. 4-7, but he doesn't get the strikeouts. Ground ball shortstop X. Fernandez, you know he's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. So we're just checking the E17. And for a shortstop, the only way he makes an error on an E17 is on a 15, 16, or 17. Other than those 3, the game's over. And the game is over. Tony Fernandez handles it easily. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. And Jimmy Key has done it. A 2-hit shutout for Jimmy Key. After all these blowouts and teams batting around and whatnot in this replay, it's nice all of a sudden to get a nice pitching duel. Only 2 runs of the game were two solo home runs. So Jimmy Key will improve to 6-0. 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks and 9 strikeouts. He did hit a batter. Bud Black's a tough luck loser. Drops to 1-2. Total line score 2-8-1 for the Blue Jays. 0-2-2 for the Royals. Blue Jays left on 8. Kansas City left on 6. Toronto improved 15-10. Kansas City drops to a level 12-12. So let's look. Obviously, the player of the game is Jimmy Key. I mean, there's not much question about Jimmy Key being the player of the game. We go to the standings now, up to the second standings in the league. Toronto with the win improves to 15-10. They are now 3.5 games behind the Yankees, 3 games behind Milwaukee. Yankees will be playing Chicago later, and Milwaukee will be hosting California. That will be the next game, game 180 on the replay. Game 180 on the replay will be California and Milwaukee. Mike Birkbeck against Mike Witt. That will be the next game on the schedule for most likely either tomorrow night or Wednesday night. I might do inside pitch tomorrow night and come back and do this Wednesday night. I haven't decided yet. Nothing's in stone. It's fluid, but that's a possibility. But anyway, Jimmy Key, the man of the hour. And as I go to these league leaders, up to the minute league leaders, I'm going to go to the pitching leaders and see where Jimmy Key stands. He's pretty much got the triple crown of pitching going for him, except strikeouts. That's the one. Clemens has him on strikeouts, and so does Langston, but he's tied for third with strikeouts. So let's look at the pitching here. Jimmy Key, where are you? Well, he just tossed his second shutout. That leads the league, 2 shutouts. He's also had pitched 2 complete games. That's tied for second behind Huff and Morris. Key has a 1.32 earned run average, so he does lead the league in ERA. He leads the league in wins with 6. And he's third in strikeouts, tied with Mike Witt, third for strikeouts. So he's pretty much dominating everything. ERA-wise, Floyd Bannister is next to him at 1.35. But 1.32 for Jimmy Key, a 6-0 average. He's pitched 54 2/3 innings. That also leads the league. And he's had 7 starts, which leads the league. So he's pretty much leading the league in everything. So thank you very much, Dan. You are welcome. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for particularly Ben for catching my mistake and helping me out. And thank you for Chuck for letting me know about Willie Wilson. I will make a note of that now and make sure that Willie Wilson has been replaced. I got to figure out who they had to bring somebody up because they would be shorthanded. So I got to figure out who the other person is going to be that's going to have to come up in his place. So Willie Wilson is out for Kansas City. And I got to figure out who gets to come in. I don't have that on my roster, but I will do some investigating to make sure I get it right for the May 7th games when they start. So thank you all for spending part of your Monday evening with me. Tabby is now out here by the door, so I don't know if I can coax her into doing anything or not. Tabby. Come here, Tabby. Come here. Maybe we can get a cameo here out of this somehow. No, Tabby, not that way. No, not that way. This way. Come this way, Tabby. Come this way. Come this way, Tabby. There you go. There you go. There you go, Rubadoo. Good girl. Now, Tabby's getting her little pettings in. Got anything to say? Tabby? No, you don't like being up here, do you? Like, let me down, buddy. All right, there you go. Go ahead and do your stuff. I'll help you. No, don't jump that far. I'll help you. There you go. Okay. Yeah, she didn't like that very much, but that's okay. We all have to do things we don't like once in a while, so she'll get over it. She'll probably go down and get some more food or something like that. Anyway, thank you all for spending the time with me, and look forward to next game, whichever that may be, whether that's inside pitch or strat. Haven't decided yet, but it will be something tomorrow night. Something will be going on around 8 o'clock or so. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.